Okay, wait, no. 8. I'm sorry. I'm not good with the numbers. I've run out of fingers. We got 8 orbitals and 3 planetaries.
Go, go, go! Twilight forever!
Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2. 2 world champions. A highlight, Terran versus Zerg. I have it on good authority. This match does not end early, but that doesn't mean they don't start throwing the punches. Let me first introduce, in the bottom left, the 2016 world champion, winner of so many things, including the hearts and minds of Terrans everywhere. Of course, it is Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. ByuN setting the tone for Terrans for over half a decade, getting Reapers nerfed twice. He's looking, well, next on the agenda, I assume, is Ghosts, with the way he's been using them. Right now, he's using a command center first. Honestly, Terrans have been getting away with so much in the way of greed in this matchup lately. But a lot of Zerg players have not bothered to punish it. They're feeling pretty comfortable themselves, and I don't think there's a more comfortable Zerg out there than this confident man in the top right. Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Rogue, the current reigning GSL champion. Smashing creator. It looked like it was going to be a 4-0, but he gave creator some breathing room, but still a convincing victory. Going on the potentially historic G5L, which I'm not sure how I feel about that as a term, because then you have to explain what does that mean, and then you have to talk to people in real life about StarCraft, and I prefer the internet. Like and subscribe. It's like, why are you talking about Rogue? Rogue One? Oh, is that your favorite movie? No, that's not. I did like it, but well. To start, so far nothing. The Reaper got no lings, and the Reaper a little bit later on because of the command center first. So far on Glittering Ashes. Let's rotate through the topics here. What do we got? We got the players, we got the introduction, we got the meta game, we got the map. We gotta have the map, since neither of them seem intent on killing each other this exact moment. Glittering Ashes, pretty standard macro, almost painfully so. You can get 4 bases relatively easily. There's a ramp leading up to each one, which means later on, especially for Terran players, that is helpful. It's not up a tiny ramp. It's pretty easy to get us around if you're out of position. But overall, I don't think you're scared to play a longer game as Terran here. That is usually the question, is whether you need to keep the Zerg in check or whether you can feel confident in later game pushes. Well, playing it nice and safe. As the Overlord came in, ByuN, wow, a third CC, 4.5 minutes. I'm matching the third hatchery out of Rogue. We do have 4 more Hellions coming out. And ByuN is one of the most flex Terran bio-curious players out there. Like, oh my god, this is disgustingly greedy. He's gotten 3 CCs. He went 1-1-1 into double NG Bay. So he's now spent thousands of minerals on things that aren't the units he's eventually making. Of course, Hellions and Banshees can keep control of the creep, but ByuN is taking every liberty in cutting every corner to get his Marines and his production up, leaving him with a relatively wide window of vulnerability if Rogue was really looking to put the pressure on. But that's part of the reason you make the Banshee and you make the Hellions, so you can keep track actively of what the Zerg is doing. A single Zergling will confirm the greed of the Shopify player. Surprised that its success makes its way in and dies to Marines. Very sad. The depots, we'll check if they still work. Always important to have that maintenance. So, passive thus far. I expected, well, it really depends. Is that 2 Baneling Nest Rogue? All the better to build a decoy Baneling Nest. That way he'll never expect the second Baneling Nest when he kills the first one. No, even with top tier players, like who is literally the best player in Korea, Rogue, will sometimes make these mistakes. You get in the groove of things, a Hellion catches your eye. And things heat up. Well, ByuN loses a tank. A little bit of creep shaved off by the Hellions. There's already enough units here to keep ByuN from being too far out on the map. What is the drone count? Only 64. Because Rogue is building 4 more hatcheries. Not 1, but 2 macro hatches. Well, he's a bit of a macro player himself. Rogue right now is getting the rest of his side of the map, essentially. 1-1 on the way. It's going to be a little later than ByuN. Rogue is going to be pretty comfortable, but the one thing he's lacking right now is creep spread and upgrades. And you're like, Winter, isn't that at least 2, if not multiple things? To which I say,
the numbers don't lie.
Rogue
and they spell
is a very Ling-heavy player. He sometimes seems to be so focused on Zerglings and Banelings, he just keeps hammering the point home. It doesn't seem like cost efficiency is nearly as important as just the sheer quantity of units you can put on the field. Of course, ByuN, on the other hand, about as efficient as you get. He will micro these Marines until Big Gabe himself steps in. A whole lot of Lings and Banes. Baneling speed is not done yet, so still a lot of risk on this flank. Tank on the high ground could take a big chunk of those Banelings out. Rogue buying time. 15 seconds on Baneling speed. ByuN trying to press the issue. Queen's holding for now. 5 more seconds. Rogue about to pull the trigger. Baneling speed is done. It's time to go. Alright, the first round. Flank from both sides. That's how flanks work. But the tank's not retargeting quite in time. Chip clicking. Looking for more. Banelings crashing into the front line of Marines. And Brenda's knitting crew will kick out everything else. Not able to get the medevacs here. ByuN's still going to work with the 5 Marines he has left over. The Hellbats waddling in to eat a few Banelings, which is their best purpose past the early game. Well, really, in general. Rogue will clear the field, and he did it because he didn't get too greedy back on his side of the map. Look at the drone count. He was only at about 74, 75, which is about equal with ByuN's worker count. So that means Rogue just now got that drone explosion, understanding, yeah, it's ByuN. He's going to do an early upgrade push. So he slaps it down. It wasn't the cheapest deflection there, but slaps it down and drones up. Thing is, though, ByuN has a lot more Marines, and ByuN's economy was untouched. There was no counter-attack. There's no damage there. ByuN already at a comfortable 3 base, going on 4. +2 attack, but seconds before the Zergling slows in, try to target fire. ByuN looking for more, but not enough. Oh, wow. There's just so many Zerglings. Rogue has already lost 150. A good start. Hive, done. 9.5 minutes, done. Not started, not halfway there. Free 10-minute hive with 90 drones. The amount these guys are able to get done while actually battling it out on the map is ridiculous. Intimidating. Wrist-breaking, some might say, but for now, holding on. Meanwhile, attack on the left flank. Trying to switch lanes here is ByuN. Caving off as many Zerglings as he can, so that way the Banelings are a lot easier to target. Of course, there's still the Marines dropped out of the medevacs on the right flank. Looking for more. The tanks falling back. Marauders here to sacrifice. Drops near the tanks, and in fact, Rogue doesn't have enough Zerglings. Most of the damage is coming from the tanks themselves. The Banelings are required. This critical mass of Marines is just too much to handle. The tanks on the back line. Another round of Banes. That should make the difference here. The target fire isn't good enough, but another attack is coming in. He drew the reinforcements. Marines fighting the Queen's heads up, but the Spore Crawlers getting involved, and the Transfuse is holding the line. Oh, be careful. ByuN continues pressuring. Rogue can't get that supply up. And remember, because of the worker count, when you see these even supplies here, that means ByuN has a lot more army in the field. Usually to between 10 and 20 more, a full medevac or 2. The tanks holding their ground. 7 kills. I didn't get to click on the other one. 7. Oh, they're both 7 kills. That's why. adding a ton of damage in, but also a danger to the Marines. Don't forget. Almost no economy slowed down. It's just been units traded all across the field. So many Zerglings closing in. Rogue, I mean, that's why he got the double. He's playing a Brood War Zerg. Double macro hatch. Jesus. This Banshee just going. 22 kills and counting. I think he's target firing some of the Banelings, but anything it can hit is helpful. Rogue pushes ByuN back towards his third. The Baneling's getting dangerously close to a mineral line, but he's kind of walled off the entire mineral line. Beautifully done there for ByuN. One Baneling. Concussive shells slow it down, and ByuN, holding for now, drives back the Zerg. Rogue, wow, the mules dropped. Can we, give me, let's turn that frown upside down on the income count. Show me the mules. One more. Yep. We'll check back on that stock report. More with you. Mules, good investment. Limited time only. +3, finishing across the board. Ground Carapace will be the first one. A whole lot of Lings and Banes closing and collapsing on the bio in the center. The Banshee still doing damage. 30 kills. But its watch has ended. Rogue was supply blocked at 170 supply. I guess he lost a couple of overlords in there somewhere. Zerglings hunting, finding a siege tank. But, well, how many? 400 Zerglings so far. Alright. Burrowed Lings actually blocking some of these bases. Another planetary on the way. Adrenal glands is done. Fully upgraded Lings now. +3 finishes. Ripping through anything that is not reinforced by units, including planetaries. But the 3-3 Marines, on the other hand, will stand their ground and gun down the Zerglings by the dozen. A bunch more Banelings heading in. I don't think the burrow has actually been revealed yet, so there is a risk on the field, but ByuN almost never has its units clumped up enough to make burrowed Banes worth it. But another battle in the center now. We see blinding cloud across all the tanks. They're so well spread, it's hard to pick a target. Banelings crash into a clump of Marines. 10 SCVs, some of the first workers to actually die. ByuN knocked down to 74, which is a perfectly comfortable number. Picks up the planetary, realizing it's in danger of actually dying to Banelings. Can we get back to that income tab? Oh, Rogue has been pretty consistent. And the burrowed Zerglings will give away the burrow, but blocking the base and forcing scans is already worth it. Wow, I'm surprised it's taken this long. But ghosts are hitting the field. I guess there hasn't really been any reason to use them against just straight up Lings and Banes. Vipers are definitely a target. Lurkers are kind of implied. I believe he's seen at least some of the Hydras now. Not 100%. He hasn't lost. He hasn't killed any Hydras. ByuN. So. Oh my god. Protecting the tank. The double siege. But the Hydras show up to the party uninvited. Liberators do what they can. Rogue looking to take a fight. He's maxed out now. Vipers with plenty of energy. Where are the ghosts? No EMP at the moment. The tank's looking for something. Blinding cloud. Splits the difference on the tanks. 700 Zerglings. Some repair here. The ghost showing up to the party. So much partying going on. I don't know why I keep saying that, but there's a lot happening here. The chaos. A dozen SCVs down, leaving ByuN with a nice number, though. 2 more command centers finishing. Expansions across the board. There are 10 hatcheries right now for Rogue. Oh my. Well, I don't know about that. He's consuming the most forward hatchery, which I guess if he still has enough queens, right? He can transfuse it. Renewable energy. He's making the battery packs now. As consuming hatcheries doesn't seem like a great long-term option. The Marines making their way over to the right flank. A few Hydras give that range damage the Zerglings couldn't offer. The Ghosts sniping. Target practice on the Ovies to start. ByuN being chased. But the Ghosts aren't so bad against Zerglings and Banelings. They're not necessarily ideal, but they stand their ground. They're quite good against the Zerglings especially. EMPs, some abducts, but the command center itself, oh my god. Changelings being gunned down while the fight is happening. These guys, a lot going on. Average of 450 APM out of ByuN. Outstripping Rogue at a balmy 400. Are you even trying, Rogue? And that's with Rogue building... Oh, he's lost 750 Zerglings in 17 minutes. We'll see when he passes the 1,000 mark, as I think that's very likely at this stage. 3 more command centers. ByuN, in typical ByuN manner, Ghosts are just another bio unit. They're not this special, fancy spellcaster to be pampered and perfumed. No. They go with the rest of the army. Sometimes that doesn't work out, but I do appreciate how ByuN just starts mixing them in. The special sauce to dismantle Zerg. High-sec auto-tracking. Neo-steel armor. The fixins. All the upgrades being finished up. Rogue has battery pack evo chambers. How's the unit... Wow, the resources lost 10,000 more minerals for Rogue, but 1,200 more gas for ByuN. He actually... I guess Zerglings at some point paying off there. Another Overlord. Well, I'm gonna mildly disgust these SCVs. A handful of Marines will take it out. Things slowing down as both players starting to jockey for position in the later game. We're kind of approaching... I saw the Lurker upgrades at some point. But ByuN already has Ghosts on the field, so I think Rogue's holding off. Oh my god, the EMPs hit everything. The Vipers have to go back to the high ground. Is this triple orbital? It's looking like a campaign mission right now. Look at those orbitals, the planetary with double Liberator. Another fight, Baneling's looking for a target on both sides of the map simultaneously. The medevac count, he's got 13 medevacs right now, 10 Ghosts. Another drop, drawing the attention of Rogue over to the right flank. Mostly Banelings is the response, which you gotta be a little careful with. Oh, the Hydra's in front. The Ghosts will line up those snipes. Gotta be a little careful the Banelings don't close in, but Banelings don't actually do extra damage to Ghosts because Ghosts are not light units. Neither are Banelings, technically, but the Ghosts have a lot more HP. Almost double a Marine. How many command centers right now? 8. 8 command centers. Space to put the command centers. Well, Thor's on the way. Thor's on the way. I mean, is he scared of Broodlords? They're turrets. He's shooting down his own medevacs to free up supply. ByuN says 69 SCVs. That's the number. Nice. But this many medevacs? Drops have kind of ended. He's really focused entirely on cost efficiency. Rogue's army is 74 Banelings, and also some other things, but mostly 74 Banelings. Oh my. He's still got 85 drones. He's mining plenty right now and has been for quite a while, but ByuN is a tough nut to crack. Maybe the toughest nut to crack. Tough nuts. Anyways, here comes 74 Banelings against the hardest possible targets. Tanks, Thors, Liberators they can't even hit. 30 of the Banelings are so taken down right off the bat. The Ghosts eating the brunt of the rest. And that is relatively successful. we're just gonna have to ask ourselves at the end of the day, at what cost? 845 lings, 186 banes. That's not including those that attack, because they don't even count on units lost. Gotta remind everyone of that every single game. 15,000 more minerals. But about even on gas. So Rogue, he still has he still has a lot of bases, and one of ByuN's to mine from. Or at least so far is mining from it. So 1 or 2 bases could definitely make up the difference in how cost and effective he is. 2 of the battery packs gone. They are technically rechargeable, but you got to get a queen over there with the transfuse. Anyways, another round. The tanks on the high ground, battering the Zerglings. But not quickly enough to force the orbital, well, to keep the orbital intact. Forced to lift. More SCVs. ByuN down to 62, but I wouldn't be surprised if he stops replacing them. Honestly, about 50 SCVs at this point and plenty of mules. When you have 9 orbital commands, he's building another planetary. He's going to 15 command centers. Alright. Anyways, Baneling's rolling. They're desperate to find a target. As long as they hit something. Siege tanks dying to Banelings is not the greatest trade, but 94 Zerglings in the production tab. My god. 114 Zerg. I apologize, I misspoke. We haven't yet hit that 1,000 mark, but I think it's coming up soon. And I'm still not sure. Rogue has not built a single Lurker or Broodlord. He's built some of the Vipers, but to limited success. So I'm not entirely... It looks like he wants to just outright kill ByuN with the Lings and Lisks. But ByuN is not just surviving, he's thriving right now. The snipes coming off. The cost efficiency. Once again, I think there was an accidental Lurker at some point. A Lurker died. God, this siege push. 135 army supply. Only +3 mech weapons, but only +1 armor. Oh, more tanks. Yanking the tanks. EMP lands, but he gets a lot of the air units into the Hydralisks. Only +2 ranged attack on the Hydras. I say only because at this point, why don't you have everything? Rogue batters the front base. He's still mining from that bottom right, by the way. More. My god. A sensor tower coverage is good. Is he making Hellbats in the late game? Has he decided Hellbats are more valuable than Marines? I guess against this many Zerglings and Banelings. I don't know the math on that, but ByuN's doing it. ByuN does a lot of things, but I've never quite seen this scenario. At least not recently. He's getting Blue Flame. And he's transitioning into Hellbats. I guess they are the mineral-heavy unit. Hellbats are less micro-intensive than Marines, I'll give you that. We're well... Oh god, the font size is too large. Alright, so just add a 1. 1,162 Zerglings. And that number does not seem to be dropping any... Well, it's not going to drop, but it's only going to grow. And possibly exponentially with the way Rogue is playing. He smashes some more Liberators. An Orbital goes down. Ghost Cloak. Gets detection. Snipes come out, though. The tank line runs so deep. What? What? A Thor drop. ByuN. It's like a montage of all the strategies that at some point have been kind of good in Terran versus Zerg. But at the end of a modern game, he got the base. I guess that's the most efficient way to do it. He's very focused on the mech. He's building, oh, 2 siege tanks. One was blocked in, which is the weird thing in the production tab. Changelings. The army is almost completely stripped of Marines. There's only 2 Marauders and 3 Marines. I'm not sure ByuN knows where they are. They're mixed into the army. He's actually switched to Ghost Mech. What a crazy game. The snipes as Rogue retreats. He's lost so much now. Oh my god! 1,349 Zerglings. He's lost 25,000 more minerals. That's well over a base of minerals. He's mined nearly 25,000 more minerals, but he's taking what should be ByuN's like 3rd or 4th. ByuN is actually starting to run out. Like there was a moment, a mule-filled moment that he had more minerals. Finally going for 9 lurkers, but he's up against a Terran player who literally only has anti-lurker unit. If of all the times, but what else are you gonna build? He's desperate. He's tried everything. He's even sucking on spore crawlers as they move across the map. I guess he hasn't tried everything. You haven't tried everything until you've sucked on a spore crawler with your beautiful... Anyways, moving on from that topic. The lurkers, bro, they've had the upgrades for a while. The ghosts are pushed back. The lurkers will eliminate the base, but the snipes come out. 17 SCVs went down. He scouts another base in the most uncomfortable positions. Oh my. Now this is awkward. ByuN's orbital watching to see if that hatchery will be so kind as to move out of the way, but not this time. Well, the ghost being yanked in, more snipes coming out. Looking for more. Slashes through. Oh, really, Rogue? ByuN down. Okay, I've been so distracted looking at this exchange here. Ah! Okay, Rogue is at 126 supply. ByuN's at 100. Neither player really has money. The ghost getting as much. Oh, he snipes around the lunkers. Oh, and he just tapped. What? It just ends. 1,500 Zerglings. What? He just tapped out. Are you dead? I mean, that's a frustrating game if you're Rogue. It is intensely frustrating. He doesn't... I mean... I'm sorry. One more time. We're going to pause it. What is the situation? It's not good. I think Rogue is... This is a tilting game. This is one of those games you're like, okay, well, what am I supposed to build? Like, I tried... What, Broodlords? Was I supposed to build Broodlords? Is that what you're saying? Was I supposed to pray one infestor did damage? Also, I don't think Rogue realized that ByuN was in such a terrible spot. Oh my god. ByuN has almost nothing. He's down to 23 SCVs. That's not even one base of saturation with gas. He has some mineral patches left, but maybe a little too early from Rogue, but you can understand the thought process there for sure. Especially with this last fight. The ghosts just not... They don't die. How many ghosts did he lose? He lost 18 ghosts in this game. Which pales in comparison. I guess barely any lurkers have been lost, but... Gets a blinding cloud. Yeah, it's a frustrating fight. It really is. I don't know if it's 100% over there with Rogue still having plenty of mining. ByuN's gonna take out that base, but... Oh my god. That was some of the most cost-effective. Rogue sticking with his trademark, I will hammer you till someone breaks strat. But ByuN held. And he held strong. That was a pretty crazy... Is that how we're playing late game now? Have we solved it? Do we actually just switch into mech? What is this? Brood War? I'm sorry. If that idea got you excited, make sure to smash that like button. Like ghosts. Now snipe that like button, activate your cloaking device, and use it to surreptitiously click on one of these videos. Or maybe some of those. No, not that one. Mine. Thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.